Our operation is small, but there's a lot of potential for aggressive expansion. So we're gonna have tryouts.
Indeed, we are in the middle of aggressive expansion. Just over the past few months, my team at the law firm has gone from one person, myself, up to 9 people now. So it's been a lot of change very quickly. I was solo as early as November of last year, so we're only talking about really a few months to get a ramp up going. We now have 3 attorneys, including myself, so we're still a little staff heavy, but that was by design. I wanted to bring on a lot of people, especially on the intake side of things, to make sure that that was taken care of first before we started ramping up the marketing spend and trying to bring in a bunch of new clients. Now, the biggest challenge is filling the 2 attorneys' plates that I currently have. If we can get that right, I think there's really no looking back at the law firm, because that'll be enough to take care of all of the expenses that I would expect with the existing payroll we have and all of the marketing and sort of administrative expenses as well. And that would be assuming I'm not billing any of my own time to clients, so it would be a self-sufficient law firm in that sense. But I'd still be wearing plenty of hats, so it's not like the work would be done. I just wouldn't be working on billable matters directly. Or I should really say I wouldn't have to be profitable. But looking ahead, the target for the end of 2024 is probably getting up to about 20 to 25 people. So that would be something like 1 or 2 hires per month on average. Aggressive expansion, as some people would call it. But if there is a breaking point for this law firm, it's probably right about now. We've ramped up the marketing spend pretty dramatically. Payroll has expanded very rapidly over the past few months, and there's a lot of things to still work out on the systems side, but we are making very solid progress each really week, and month over month we're making a lot of progress too. There's still plenty of room for error, and I do want to be careful, especially now, not to overexpand, and then I have to find money from all sorts of different places to try and keep operations going, or even worse yet, we'd have to downsize or something like that and start over. I really don't want to do that. I don't think we'll need to do that since things are trending positively, but I do want to be careful. I'll probably be spending a lot of my efforts over this next month towards the marketing side of things, making sure that we're keeping our pipeline of new leads full so that we can then fill the plates of our 2 attorneys, especially our newer one who is just getting ramped up. And we can look to improve our systems along the way. Meanwhile, on the steam cleaning side of things, we have a positive development for once. We have a new manager in place, and he's already gotten off to a great start, getting his bearings and trying to figure out what to really focus on. And he's got some new initiatives going and trying to get mainly commercial clients into the pipeline, and made a lot of progress getting the employees on the current team bought into the new efforts and making the picture pretty clear that we really need to get things going in order to maintain the future of this business and try and get it to a much better spot. So that's been really positive. That's just been really the last couple of weeks since he started. So I'm looking forward to what he can do over the next few months and see if he can start making some solid progress towards turning this business around. But it's nice to see some significant efforts being made already. If you want to hear more about the disaster that's been my investment in that steam cleaning business, go ahead and check out the video that I'll link above. I'm giving the manager a lot of leeway and what he can and can't do, so we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, I'll be focusing on the law firm. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into this month's net worth numbers. For those of you who are new to the series, I'm attempting to reach $1 million in net worth, and I document my progress or lack thereof towards that goal each month here on the channel, so subscribe if you don't want to miss future updates. I always include a tracker spreadsheet in the description below if you want to see more details, so check that out if you're interested. That said, as a reminder, last month our net worth was a bit over $128,000. As always, let's start with the good stuff, the assets. I've reworked a few things here. For one, I'm not separately including my accounts receivable for the Duffley Law business. I'm just kind of lumping that all into the Duffley Law equity, so any accounts receivable, cash, I'm kind of vaguely estimating in here. The equity estimate here is pretty vague as well. I'm not really looking to sell this law firm, but it does have value. It is a revenue stream, and if I wanted to sell this revenue stream to someone else, to another law firm, to someone who wanted it, it is worth something. So I want to reflect some value there, plus it makes my net worth look a little bit better, so, you know, there's that. Though to be fair, I have written off about $180,000 in steam cleaning business value, so it's the least I could do to myself. So the cash balance is even more misleadingly low than it really is. I do have reserves set aside for my rental properties, and I have some cash in the law firm account as well. So I have more than just this cash, but this is really what I would call my free cash that is to be distributed to whatever, really. So this is my effective cash balance for net worth purposes. And plus, I don't want to double count the cash that might be included in the net equity of the Duffley Law business or the steam cleaning business. But again, those are pretty vague estimates anyways. This net worth game is more of an art than a science. One significant thing I'll note is I did receive a payment for the business loan, so I am starting to get some of that money paid back. I'm looking to get that paid off within the next month, but again, we'll see what happens. But I am receiving some payments, so that's a nice development. One thing I didn't include in my accounts receivable, which I probably should have this time around, but that is going to be my expected tax refund. It should be pretty significant this year because of the pretty large business losses across the board, so that should really whittle away whatever our taxable income would have been. And we've been withholding taxes from when I had my big law job. I was withholding taxes then. My wife has her job, so she's been withholding taxes too. So I think we are going to have a pretty substantial refund this year, or if I'm totally off on my preliminary calculations. I'll probably start to work that into my balance sheet starting next month. But in total, that leaves me with about $1.21 million in assets. And now onto liabilities. The most significant change here is the fact that my HELOC balance went right back up. I did take out some cash here to reinvest it back into the steam cleaning business to make sure that that is capitalized, especially now that we have a new manager in place. Want to make sure there's cash there to continue making payroll and paying for expenses as things move along. So I did pull that money right back out pretty much. And I might pull out some more debt over the next month or two just to make sure that I have enough liquidity to keep making expenses both on the steam cleaning side and on the law firm side if there's kind of a delay between when we're able to take money from the retainers that we've brought in today, and it takes some time to actually build those and do the work and then get paid for the work we've done. But meanwhile, I still have payroll to meet, so there's kind of that awkward period when I'm getting people ramped up where I'm still paying their payroll, but maybe they're not profitable quite yet because there's a delay there. So I have to float that period, and just to be safe, I might take out some extra cash, but we'll see if we end up needing it. It'll also depend on whether I get a significant payment for that business loan on the asset side back. But taking a look more closely at the debt paydown numbers, you'll see that the big negative paydown, or the addition to my debt balances, was in the HELOC. We made progress in pretty much everything else just by making the minimum payments. So on net, we gained about $13,000 in debt value. So our liabilities did go up this month. Although I would like to think that over this year, we're going to make some really significant progress as long as things go decently well on really either the steam cleaning side or the law firm side. If both go well, then that's going to be tremendous. But I really do think we're going to be able to pay off multiple six figures worth of debt over this next year. But again, we'll see what happens. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on this, and we'll continue to make those minimum payments at the very least. So we should get some natural principal pay down in the process. But any really big swings at the debt probably won't come until the latter half of this year. But in total, that leaves us with about $1.08 million in liabilities, which means our net worth has decreased to something over $126,000, which is a decrease of a little over $2,000 from the previous month. Our debt ratio has increased slightly to 89.58%, and our passive income remains at about $600 per month. So not a hugely impactful month on the net worth side of things, but there was a lot going on behind the scenes with the businesses that I own. I'd like to think that would lead to significant net worth growth in the future. So like I mentioned at the top of the episode, we are in aggressive expansion mode, but I don't want to get overly aggressive and overextend myself. So I'm trying to be very careful here, making sure we have enough cash to keep maintaining everything, even if we have a down month revenue wise, or if something bad happens. Just want to make sure that we can continue keeping our employees happy, keeping the team happy, keeping everyone motivated, and not having to go and beg for mercy if we don't make payroll or something awful like that. So we're not in that position, and I don't want that to happen, so I'm making sure we have enough cash. It has been great seeing significant growth on the law firm side of things, and we'll see if we can get some serious growth on the steam cleaning side of things as well, although whatever happens there, it's really the law firm that I think is going to move the needle in the biggest way, so that's where most of my time and energy and money is going to be going. If you're interested in following along, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future updates. Otherwise, thanks for watching.